Do you remember Bill Gates? How did he write the Microsoft? Are you getting money out of that or it is taking money out of you? Book actually helped me make my mornings like a CEO morning. Today I'm going to talk about the books that have helped me change my mindset and help me become very successful in my business. Hi everyone, welcome to this channel and welcome to this video as well. If you're coming for the first time, then my name is Viral Jain and I am an entrepreneur and I talk business. But today's video is not going to be about business strictly, but it's going to be about all the other knowledge regarding time, money, and life in general. And those are the things that, my friend, help you excel in your life. Today's video is going to be about amazing books that will help you change your mindset. And these are the same books that helped me touch multiple six figures in my business. So without further delay, let's get started. The first book that I'm going to talk about is, I think, one of the best books that I've come across and read is called The Deep Work by Cal Newport. This book particularly talks about two things: deep work and shallow work. If you see, most of the people and human beings are supposed to do multitask, right? If you have seen, hey, do you multitask? That's like a cool notion that most of us have, but that deteriorates the quality of work. So this book actually helps us understand that in order to produce something spectacular, you need to do a deep work. And deep work means that you have to schedule all your distractions away and focus only on one thing if you really want to produce something very, very valuable. For example, if you are finding a product to sell on Amazon and you're doing a product research, most people do not find a good product because they spend 15-20 minutes searching a product, and then sometimes they get an email, sometimes there's so much social media around that you're bombarded with notification, and boom, your focus goes out of the way. So this book talks about dedicating specifically 3 to 4 hours and only doing that particular thing for long hours. That's called the deep work, and that is when you actually will produce something very, very valuable. Do you remember Bill Gates? How did he write the Microsoft code? Actually, he schedules the deep work for twice a year. Twice a year, he goes into the woods where he doesn't have access to anything and he only has access to the books, notes, and that is where he actually was able to focus long hours on just coding. And in 8 weeks, he introduced something called as Microsoft, which we all use today, by just 8 weeks of deep focus work. The idea of getting things done marks back to the artificial deadlines. So, do you remember Parkinson's law, where the work will expand to fill the time it is actually given to? So, let me explain you. Let's say if you give a task 1 hour to actually get completed, you will automatically complete the task to meet the deadline. So, more the deadline is, the more the work will spread. So if you give the same task 2 hours, the work will spread to 2 hours. So that's number one that I actually learned, that keeping good deadlines will always help you get things done. Number two that I really learned from this book is the three core principles, or I would say three core strategies. One is scheduling distractions. So when I used to do my Amazon's business, I actually used to schedule my distraction, meaning all the social media or Facebook that I used to see, all the notifications or email, I used to only have certain hours in the day. Let's say like from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. That time I used to watch all the notifications. Otherwise, my notifications were completely off. The second thing was about deep rituals. Every single morning, I used to keep a couple of hours, maybe 1 or 2 hours, only for product research, where I never used to do anything else, only that, so that it was my ritual that every morning as you go jogging or gym, this was my ritual. The third thing was complete shutdown in evening. I used to complete all my tasks by evening, and whatever was unfinished task, I used to write back for the next day so that I could complete that. Now, by just following all these principles that I just told you, I was able to quit my job in just 6 months and make double of my salary as a net profit in my Amazon business and do this business full time. The next book that I'm going to talk about is the very famous book, The Secret. Now, if you don't know about The Secret, this is one of my very, very first book that I actually started when I wanted to build a reading habit. So I was in the crossword just to meet my friend, and my friend told me, "Hey, why don't you read books?" And I said, like, I mean, let's try. So he gave me this book to read, and it was one of the best-selling books at that time. This book particularly talks about visualization. And if you don't know about visualization, it is a technique where you have to see yourself first being what you want to, and then the reality will catch up. It's a technique. For example, let's say if you're fat and you're 94 kgs and you want to become 60 kgs. So the first step in order to visualize this or using this book is to start thinking or imagining like how would you look if you were 60 kgs. What would you wear? What kind of clothes would you wear? What would you be doing? How would you feel? Once you start visualizing this over and over again, automatically it sends a signal to the universe, and your reality, like your imagination, starts becoming your reality. So first you have to start thinking what you have to be, and then the reality will catch up. Now, just in my case, I always wanted to teach a lot of people, be in front of audience, impacting a lot of lives. But during my school days and my college days, I was pretty shy. My English was very bad. I couldn't speak in front of the crowd. But I always wanted to be, I always dreamed of having a YouTube channel, teaching on webinars, courses, and boom, right now, just in front of you, I'm talking. I have my own YouTube channel, and a lot of people are getting inspired by, looking at me and my journey. So that's the power of visualization. And this book literally helped me always imagine what I want to be, and over a period of time, it started becoming a reality. I'll tell you though, this book is very, very difficult to read. It took me a lot of time. Like I read it almost 6 to 7 times to understand. And certainly, if you are reading for the first time or developing a habit, it could be a little bit overwhelming as well. The next on the list is The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. This book talks about achieving peak performance by just altering your morning ritual. This book talks about how can you make tiny changes in your mornings and alter your life 360-degree. It's a 5 to 6 minute morning ritual where you actually have to wake up early. You start doing things that will enrich your life, like reading, meditating, yoga, running, and just allocating couple of minutes, like 2 or 3 minutes per activity. And in 5 to 6 minutes, you are actually able to re-energize yourself. And these small habits that we inculcate actually goes a long way in changing our life 360-degree. So when I, was actually using this book, it actually helped me sleep very, very early and rise in the morning by 4 to 5 a.m. And when I used to do all these rituals, and like I used to spend 2 to 3 minutes, maybe like reading 4 to 5 pages of my book, and doing a little bit run, like 10 minutes of running, and then yoga. All these things actually changed my mindset so much that by the time 8 o'clock used to struck, I was able to do half of my task. And this book actually helped me make my mornings like a CEO morning. Like if you see Apple and big people who are the CEOs of the company, they actually use all these kind of techniques to wake up very, very early in the morning and get most of the things done by 8 a.m. so that most of the time when the people are actually waking up, their work is almost done. The fourth book that I would suggest is A Blue Ocean Strategy. Now, this book is very close to me because this was suggested by my mentor, Mr. Dan Locke, in one of his programs in my early stages of career. Now, this book really caters about two types of methods. One is called as Red Ocean and another is called as Blue Ocean. Red Ocean is a bloody market where every single person is trying to sell the same kind of services. There is no differentiation. Hence, over a period of time, a lot of people have to decrease their prices to acquire the customer. The same on the opposite hand, there is something called a blue ocean strategy, where you have to create a new market in itself where there is already a demand but nobody else is catering. Now, this when I just read this book, this just opened my mind completely. And if I think today, I actually was able to use this in my life only after reading this book. And I will give you one example. So when I was thinking of starting my Amazon coaching program, I was actually thinking, hey, like what kind of program should I create? And this book really helped me because everyone in the market was catering to how to start selling on Amazon. Everyone's only catering to that. Nobody was talking about the pain or the problem of existing sellers who have already started selling on Amazon but were not able to scale their business. They were stuck. What about those sellers? So that was a time when I understood this is a blue ocean where what if I teach and help existing sellers to scale their business on Amazon? And that is why I actually started with a program where I was teaching existing sellers how to scale their Amazon business using the power of Amazon advertising. And boom, that led me to blue ocean, which nobody else was catering, and it resulted in a lot of people enrolling for my program and getting immense value and were able to scale their business. The last book on my list is The Rich Dad and Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. If you are in finance or business, you must have read this book. This book revolves around what a rich dad teach their kids and what poor dad don't teach their kids. It literally challenges your traditional belief of what is an asset and liability. For example, a lot of people think home, expensive cars, all these are an asset. But in a way, these are not your true assets. In fact, these are liability. Think over it. If you take a home, are you getting money out of that or it is taking money out of you? For example, if you have a home, you have to pay maintenance, electricity, and it doesn't pay you, right? Because you're already staying over there. So that is the reason home is not an asset. In fact, it's a liability. Think about an expensive car. You have to do maintenance, have fuel, do so many things to maintain the car. It is taking money out of your pocket. So it is not an asset, it is actually a liability. Now, this book actually influenced me a lot in my early stages of my business where I was in a job. And at that point of time, I used to read this book a couple of times, and this really helped me change my mindset about how I see an asset or a liability. So when I used to get the salary from my job, instead of buying expensive things or things which don't give money in my pocket, I actually built up that entire money and invested in Amazon FBA business so that it could give me money back and have a very solid cash flow. And this book literally helped me actually build a business which gives me money every single month instead of investing in something very expensive which will not get me any money, instead take money out of my pocket. Now, this book is a very simple read. If you are starting out to build a reading habit, I would definitely recommend to start with Rich Dad and Poor Dad. So these were some of the books that actually helped me be what I am today. And I hope this video actually helped you get some knowledge as well. Just in case if you are interested in purchasing and reading these books, I will share the links that will help you actually go back to the same books that I'm recommending. On that note, happy reading, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.